Okay, here's the pat rig, and underneath here there's a foot wide hole, and I just put some pretty tissue paper over the top because it makes the view from inside look a bit more interesting. This will probably be wrapping paper on the next load because I've only got this one sheet. So I'm going to go load up, and then we're going to start, and I'll shoot the EAT first with the ACC darts, then I'll shoot the Koosh darts, and then we'll see where we are. Okay, so overall results of the dart test. I got, on the ACC darts, I got 12 shots on target in the first batch, and then I got 16 darts in target for the Koosh, and that was in the 5 kg EAT. That was at 20 feet. I couldn't find enough room for 30 feet, so that was at 20 feet. And then with the rapid pistol, obviously there's no point in firing the ACC darts because about 10 will shoot out of the 30 and half of them will have their heads ripped off. So I didn't bother shooting the ACC darts out of that. I did shoot the Koosh out of that, and I got a total of 14 hits on Koosh with that, which wasn't much of a surprise because it's more of a CQB room. It's not really a target shooting gun. It's something that you point into a room empty and then reload or drop back onto its sling. But it was interesting to see that on both cases I was hovering around the 50% mark, which probably says much more about my shooting ability than it does about either of those blasters. And you can also see that the entire EAT myth with Koosh thing has been dispelled because I had no single misfires out of the EAT, and that was over 60 darts, and you would have expected if there was a problem with Koosh that EAT would have shown them up. And I should also point out that that is on a spiral barrel. That's just on a standard spiral elite barrel. It's not on a fluted end strike barrel. That gun hasn't got that in, so it's just shooting out literally as it came out of the factory, apart from the 5 kg spring and a bigger catch spring. So there you have it. Those ACC darts, I have now got 9 corpses from an original total of 30, mostly down to the issues with the flywheel. 2 were destroyed in the EAT. So you can take that as a pretty consistent failure rate there. 2 out of 30, not horrible, but at 4 pence or around 3.5 to 3 cents a round, they're pretty cheap. So if you're thinking about some good Springer darts, I'd say those ACCs are pretty good. They're quite a heavy tip, and they're moderately accurate, and they're very cheap. They're cheaper than Koosh. So if you don't want to pay the price for proper Gen 3 Koosh, you want something that's a bit different, then those ACC darts probably aren't bad.